Hey guys, welcome back to Learn in DSA. So today we are going to solve LeetCode problem 2138. Divide a string into groups of size k. So basically in this problem, a string is given which can be partitioned into groups of size k using the following procedure. The first group consists of the first k characters of the string. The second group consists of the next k characters of the string, and so on. Each element can be part of exactly one group. For the last group, if the string does not have k characters remaining, a string fill is used to complete the group. Note that the partition is done so that after removing the fill factor from the last group, if it exists, and concatenating all the groups in order, the resultant string should be S. Given the string S, the size of each group K and the character fill return a string array denoting the composition of every group S has been divided into using the above procedure. So basically we are dividing a string into groups of size k, where the first k characters are the first group, the next k characters of the string belong to the second group, then the next k characters belong to the third group, and so on. And if the string does not have k characters remaining, like in the last part, if the group does not have k character remaining, a character fill is used to complete that group and make its size as k. Okay, so basically what we are doing here, we are provided a string s, okay, and a k. K is the size of the group in which it need to be divided, and fill is the character with which we can fill if the size of the last group is lesser than k. Okay, so let's see how we are solving this. So basically what we are doing here, we are provided a string a, b, c, d, e, f, g, h, I. Okay, we are provided a k equals 3, so each group should be of size 3 and a fill equals x. Okay, so basically in the first one we can see in the first group containing 3 characters, it will be a, b, c. The second will be D, E, F. The third will be G, H, I. Okay, so the output will be A, B, C, comma D, E, F, comma G, H, I. Okay, so now move on to the next example, where the question is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay, so similarly these three will occur and the last character will be J. J will be left alone. So with which character the J need to be filled? It need to be filled with the X. And how many X need to be filled? The size of the group of J should be 3. Okay, should be 3. So for that we need to put 2x to fill this. Okay, so this will happen in this way. Okay, so we are adding here 2x, and the constraints provided in the question are the size dot length is less than equals 0 and greater than equals 1. So a string cannot be an empty string. It is provided in the constraint, and s consists of lowercase English letters only, and k is less than equals 100. K is also not equals to 0, and fill is a lowercase English letter. Okay, so let's move on to the coding part of this. So if we look into the approach of this problem, then how we will be solving this? We will be iterating through the string in chunks of size k. For each chunk, like for each chunk, this A, B, C, this D, E, F, if it is exactly k characters added to result, so what would be our result array? Result array will be something like this: A, B, C, comma D, E, F, comma G, H, I, comma J, X, X. Okay, so the resulting will be this. So if it's exactly k characters, so add it to the result, and if it is shorter than k, J was shorter than k, then pad with the fill character. So we are padding it with the fill character 2x. Okay, So store each group in a result vector. We can store each group in a result vector. This is our result vector. So if we move on to the coding part of this, then it will be something like this. So here we are doing it in C++. You can choose your desired coding language. Here the question is like vector string divide string s int k char fill. So we are provided a string s, we are provided the k, and we are provided the fill as well. Okay, so what we will be doing first we will be creating a result vector. Okay, so vector string, the result vector will be of type string. Okay, and we need to calculate the size of the in this s string as well. So int n equals s dot length, we can calculate the size. Okay, and now we need to iterate through each character of the string in steps of k. So for that, what we can use a for loop, which will be running from I equals 0 till I less than n, and each increment that I plus k. Okay, I plus equals k. In each increment, generally what we do I plus plus, so that is increment by 1, but here we are doing increment by k values. So it will be like for int I equals 0, I is less than n, I plus equals k. Okay, so to get substring from ith to the length k, okay, or less at the end, like initially what we are considering? Initially we are considering the length from the ith string to the kth string. Okay, each group has a length of ith to kth, and if we go on iterating and it is the last group, then if it is lesser than k, then it will be from ith to kth. Okay, so it will be like string group equals s dot substring, we can create like this I comma k till from the ith to the kth location. And if the group, like the last group, is shorter than k, okay, then what we need to do, we need to pad with fill. So for that we will be doing an if loop. If the group dot length is lesser than k, if group dot length, if this group's length, like the last group length is lesser than k, then what we will be doing, we will be just padding it out. Okay, is less than k, then we will be adding those fill characters, right? So what we need to do, we need to append strings. So we group append, we need to append it to the group, and what will be the size of that? K minus the group length comma fill. Okay, whatever the k and whatever the group length was. So basically, if in this example, if we look this jxx part, then this group length will be 1 and the k will be 3. So 3 minus 1, that is 2. So 2 fill will be added here, comma fill. Okay, so what we need to do at the end, we need to push this group to the result. Okay, we need to push this group to the result vector. So for that, we just need to write this result dot push underscore back group. Okay, we need to push the group to the result, and then we will be returning the result, right? So let's run this. So here append spelling, we have done a mistake, simple mistake. So it will be like, so let's submit this. It is accepted. Let's see if it is working for all the test cases. So yeah, it is working for all the test cases. So now let's look into the time and space complexity of this problem, right? So to look into the time and space complexity of this, we need to look at the loops. So here basically we are iterating through each character of the string. So here we are using a for loop. So it is giving us a time complexity of big O of n, right? And to calculate the space complexity, here we are using a vector result which stores each group's total. So again here we are using a space complexity of big O of n, right? So this is a classic string manipulation problem. It is great for practicing substring, and it is having a clean logic. It is having some constant time operations per group, and it is a good to go solution, ideal for interviews. If you guys, if you learned something new, subscribe for more DSA content and comment your doubts below. Thank you so much for watching.